Hey everyone. I posted a little bit ago, but I wanted to give an update for those who maybe didn't see or who have been asking. Daniel did so well with the sedated MRI yesterday. This was his third time going in for sedation. In the past, it's been for an EEG and an MRI. Yesterday it was just for the MRI. The first time, they had him do two different kinds of medication. The first one was Precedex, and then they boosted him with propofol right before doing the MRI just to keep him sedated a little bit longer. And he had a hard time coming off the Precedex. Last July, when he went in for a second one, they asked if he'd had any problems, and I just mentioned, he had a hard time with the Precedex. That was it. So last time they had just done the propofol, but he still had a hard time coming out just because of how long he had been sedated for. And I know the first two times they wanted to just make sure his stomach was able to handle things. Yesterday, we kept him just busy and occupied. It was the first time Jared's been able to be with us for anything. The first two times his therapist was with me until he was sedated. Yesterday I got him up and I know God woke me up. There's no way I woke up on my own. If you guys have seen the last couple of posts, I've been dealing with anemia. I've been dealing with anemia for a while, but this last week it was more pronounced. My levels got pretty low, and I'm taking iron supplements, so I'm not skipping that, but they dropped a little bit lower. So I've been kind of worn out, wiped out. Waking up has been a struggle, but I needed to get up yesterday morning around 5 so that I could get Daniel up in enough time to eat something before the 6 a.m. cutoff. Because with sedation, you cannot eat for so long. And this was the first afternoon appointment Daniel has had for sedation. Normally we would just, we'd wake him up, go to the hospital, he'd go through sedation, easy peasy. But yesterday I needed to get up early, and I set my alarm, but I didn't turn it on. And so 5:02, I woke up and I'm going, wonder if there's enough time for me to go to the bathroom, climb back in bed, go to sleep, and sleep a little bit longer before I need to get up. And then I looked at my clock and realized, oh, no, I need to get up now. So that was, I know that was God getting me up. So I got him up, got him his breakfast. He did so well during therapy without eating. Normally, I think I've explained, this kid can eat. His normal routine is he will have his bowl of oatmeal, he will have a bowl of cereal, he will have 3 kind granola bars, he will have 2 mozzarella sticks, and that's just breakfast. Yesterday he had enough time for a bowl of oatmeal and 1 bar, and then I had to cut him off. So to not be crying and carrying on through the whole thing, and then he did not struggle at all with the IV. He stayed in the room. He stayed happy. He stayed, just everything was so wonderful. After the sedation, he was able to come down off of the propofol really easily. He woke up. He ate his 2 bars. He had a cup of water. And then they sent us on our way. It just, like a breeze. Jared and I came home and we both conked out. For I think 2 hours until it was time to get the kids to bed, and they just played nicely together. This morning, here's where it gets fun. This morning I woke up going, I feel like I have more energy today after a whole week of being wiped out, all the mental strain of dealing with things with Daniel, wondering how that was going to go, and finally having that done, and I'm excited. I'm going, yes, I have my energy. This is great. We have, the therapy coming, all these things. And now Daniel, see, doing a live makes it interesting because there's no editing. This is real life. Annika, can you help Daniel, please? We'll see if Sissy can help. Normally, I would jump up and go help, but I'm getting to that. So this morning, I'm all excited. Yay, I have energy. I'm going to do some dishes. I'm going to get things going. I took out 2 loads of trash and looked down. Oh, my shoelace is undone. I bend over to tie my shoe. Something you do every day, multiple times a day. Well, apparently I'm getting old because that slipped my back out to the point where it caught me off guard and I ended up going down to the ground. I just couldn't even support myself. The pain and it had just gone out. And I knew something was not right. So I realized, okay, well, bare minimum, we're just going to get the things done because I need to move very carefully right now. This hurts bad. And to just give a little bit of background, I dealt with fibromyalgia and myofascial pain syndrome for I remember when I was diagnosed, they said looking in my medical records, I was complaining of the pains from the time I was 10. I wasn't diagnosed until I was 16, and the neurologist said, okay, you have almost all of the trigger points from fibromyalgia, and you don't typically see that. It's not common to have so many. So I have a high threshold for pain. I can deal with quite a bit. Thankfully, God did heal me of the fibromyalgia and the myofascial pain syndrome about 12 years ago. So I haven't had the constant pain like I did, but I can still deal with a lot. I don't often take pain pills no matter what, just because I have a high threshold for pain. The only thing I will take is Aleve when it's really bad and it's inflamed and I need to, do an anti-inflammatory. And I kept trying to tell myself, it's just pain. It's just pain. Just work through it. You can do this. But I really couldn't. It kept just, shooting pain down my legs, and I couldn't support myself very easily. I knew I would need to go get seen because I could not bend over to pick Daniel up. That I knew that meant it's time for a trip to the doctor, and I went, and apparently really couldn't work through that pain. If it's just pain, sure, sometimes you can work through it, but if the pain is actually caused from something wrong, working through that pain can actually cause further damage. I think I didn't do that, but according to the chiropractor, I had a disc slip out. He was able to get it back in, but now I am wearing a brace for through the weekend, and he told me to take it very easy. The brace will at least keep me from being on complete bed rest, but I do need to be very, very careful. I should not be lifting Daniel for the weekend. I should just be doing the things that I need to do, but being very gentle on my back. I'll go back in towards the beginning of next week. He wants to just make sure that it stays in. That's kind of the biggest risk, since it is still pretty swollen and you move wrong and there's a painful spasm. So I'm going to be very careful. But in the midst of that, we got the MRI results, and there's nothing significant. Even what was seen at the last MRI in July, even that was faded. That didn't even stand out as much as it did over the summer. So that's good news in that there's not a growth or a tumor or something like that, but it's also the frustration of, okay, well, see, I was hoping it would be something like, oh, well, this just means he's got too much of that enzyme, just change his diet, or, I was hoping for something simple. We didn't get that. So we are now still waiting with Daniel. But, today's verse of the day for my Bible app was, devote yourself to prayer, keeping alert in it with an attitude of thanksgiving. That's from Colossians 4:2. That one's the NASB 95 version. And that has me going, I had both Annika and Daniel's therapist both said something along the lines of, maybe you're doing too much. Maybe you just need to, Annika, when it first happened, she said, oh, I think you're doing too much, Mommy. And Daniel's therapist, when she came in and I explained what was happening, she goes, maybe God's trying to say, you need rest. And if the anemia didn't keep you down, maybe this will do it. Not that God caused this, but maybe God's using it to just help me catch up, because I did just battle a whole week of anemia, and maybe I do need to just recover and rest and all those things. So I'm going to be thankful that, God, it's not as bad as it could have been. I'm going to be thankful that we got the results back so quickly for Daniel. And I'm just going to keep praying and know that God's got this, but maybe I do need to be a little bit more careful and allow myself more rest. And I think my friend Naomi, she said that maybe I just need to tell myself or hear her words saying, give yourself grace, Stephanie, give yourself grace. And so maybe that's what I need to do, is really give myself grace to get the rest I need in order to do the things I need to do. Because you all know I've got 3 kids, I homeschool, I have pets, I'm usually pretty busy, and it's hard for me to ask for help, and all of those things. I'm used to just bouncing up and doing those things, but maybe God's really been working on me for the last year about how I need to allow myself to rest. That's been a big push that I've seen from God. So maybe I really need to listen and rest. So there you have it, guys. There's the update. Nothing really to report other than I'm going to not push through this pain. I'm going to be good and wear the brace and be gentle. So, okay. Hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend.